Welcome to the Maximize Business Value podcast, brought to you by Mastery Partners, where our mission is to equip business owners like you to maximize your business value and achieve the exit of your dreams, whatever that means to you. With insights gained from over 100 business transactions, we share real-world strategies, lessons, and expert advice to help you build long-term, sustainable value in your business. Each episode is hosted by one of our Mastery certified partners. They're seasoned experts who've helped countless business owners navigate the complexities of growth, scaling, and building value. They bring first-hand experience, actionable insights, and a passion for helping you build a business that thrives. So let's dive in. Hi, this is Tom Bronson, and welcome to Maximize Business Value, a podcast for business owners who are passionate about building long-term, sustainable value in their businesses. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to someone who's been on the podcast before and one of our key team members here at Mastery Partners. This is Dave Casey, who plays a critical role in our mission to help business owners maximize their business value. So, Dave, could you share with us, what you do at Mastery? In fact, I'd like to know what you do at Mastery Partners.
I've been trying to be undercover for a long time here, Tom. So this will be revealing to the audience and to you, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But I am a certified Mastery partner, and with that, I have really the honor of working with Mastery clients in all sorts of engagements. A lot of it is, business owners. I was a business owner for 25 years. Exited my business about a dozen years ago. So I kind of know what the business owner's journey is like and what happens. And I've got to say, when I got to the end of that, when I was in the process of exiting my business, that was one of the most stressful points in my career, I think, going through that process. We got to know each other a few years ago, and you described what Mastery Partners does. And I said, there's an incredible need for that kind of service to work with business owners and help them maximize the value of their business with an eye to an eventual transition. Now, that transition can vary. It might be a sale to an outside party. It could be a sale within the family. It could be a sale to employees. It may not even be a sale. It may be just the owner stepping back for a few minutes and letting the business that's improved so much run by itself. So I got excited about that and really have been excited about becoming a certified partner with Mastery Partners.
You were really one of those early folks that I was a solo practitioner back then, and you reached out. We got to know one another pretty well, and you had a nice exit, and of course, I got to know you again really through Business Navigators, the servant leadership organization, and Biz Owners Ed. Dave serves on the board of Biz Owners Ed, which is an educational a program annually for business owners. But you said something to me. I remember being en route to one of my clients, and you said, this is really intriguing to me, what you guys do. I'd like to see it in practice. And so we found another
remember saying
client.
that word, I think, intriguing.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you were kind of the reason that we started adding certified partners to Mastery Partners, because you've done some really great work with some of our clients. I'm beginning to draw a blank now. 3 years maybe that we've been working
Close
together.
to that. Yeah, I think we're 2 years and counting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's interesting because again, it's such a different perspective for me, having been a business owner. And I think the thing that you said that struck me was that only 17% of people that set out to sell their business or transition their business actually achieve that on the first go round. That there's an 83% failure rate, and that you were pretty pissed off about that. And I can see where you would be. I mean, it is one of the most consequential events in a business owner's life, and for that to fail is just a tragedy. So I really kind of got behind the mission of what we're doing at Business Navigators. And I had the opportunity to go on a couple of client visits with you to get an idea of what the process was, and that's what really intrigued me at that point, is that we can add real value to the transaction, to the whole process, to the company itself and the business owner.
Yeah,
So even if a transaction never happens while we're dealing with them, we've added a lot of value to them.
Yep, that's for sure. So you said something after we went through that whole first process, the whole transition readiness assessment. You looked at me, and I'm sure you remember this, but you said, "Wow, I wish that I had had something like this before I
Yeah.
exited my business."
Yeah. I contemplated exiting my business for about 2 years. I did a lot of things. We were in the IT services, sales and services business. So we had some inventory and equipment and so on. So I had written all of that down to zero. I had, an employee file for every employee. I think we kept that stuff up to date. Our financials were good. We were getting financials by the 15th of the following month every time. So I thought I had done all the things that you would do as a business owner to prepare and get the maximum value. Having gone through the mastery process now, I left money on the table, obviously. So
Well, you had a nice exit, and
I
so
did, and I don't
yeah,
regret it at all. I just wish I'd known then what I know now.
right.
That's really the key.
Right, right. And of course, even in my own experience, even though I've bought and sold 100 businesses in my career, and a couple of those were massive roll-ups, I wish I knew in the beginning what I know now, right? And I suppose, as I tell my kids and young people, there's only one way to get experience, and that is to get experience. And
Yeah,
that learn the lessons of our experience, and take that into your business for our listeners. And so.
yeah.
So I think one of the things that our listeners really value is understanding kind of the impact of our work. Could you share an example of how you've helped a client kind of transform their business?
Yeah, I can. We've got a client we've had now for just over a year, I think. And they're in the home services business. And they were running, I would say, a pretty good business. And the business owner, we encounter a lot of business owners that are baby boomers. They're in their late 60s or whatever, and they're trying to think about how do I execute this exit. This fellow is not there. I mean, he's a young guy, tons of energy, wants to build his business, certainly wants to sell his business at one time. It's not like he's married to it, that this is his life's dream. Or maybe his life's dream is a career, but it's not his life's dream to run this thing for 40, 50 years. And so when we got engaged, he was, I think, a little bit like, well, I think I'm doing what I'm doing, and I certainly know my industry, and I'm a little curious what you guys can do for me. Well, we've made some tremendous changes in that business in just a short period of time. They've adopted the EOS operating system. He was already, tracking KPIs, running his financials very well, but we've dug deeper into several areas of that. And then just the structure of the business itself. He's now broadened out into several different home services. So we've helped him through the transition of establishing multiple LLCs, kind of a partnership over top of that, bringing aboard some people that have some future ownership in the company and that sort of thing. So it's been quite a journey in just a short period of time, and we're not done yet. He's got a lot more to do, and I'm fully confident he's going to have a business that's worth at least 10x of what it was the day that we walked in the door.
Yeah, and he
So
he actually had that goal, and I'm sure you recall that when we first went down to meet him in his office,
yeah,
he had that goal. He said, "I really want to 10x my business,"
yeah,
and in
yeah.
the
The first
next
book I
3 years.
gave him was 10x is
Right,
2x.
right,
You read it cover to cover.
yeah,
So
and so that's amazing. So, what do you find the most rewarding about your work here at Mastery?
I think there's a couple of things. I've had the opportunity, not with clients that I've worked with, but with mastery clients, to kind of watch this transformation as a business grows, gets stronger, It gets better run, better organized. The employees are more engaged. And then watching that business move over into our NorthStar M&A side, and actually the business owner achieves an exit. And again, my exit was a dozen years ago, but I remember it like yesterday. And I just remember that I call it the vortex. The closer you get to a transaction, time speeds up, things are flying at you. You're getting questions you've never heard before and asked for information that you've never laid your hands on, and that whole process. And with mastery, I think what we have the opportunity to do, and I've seen it in action, is that we can take a client through that process before they actually experience the process. So many of the things that we do to help our clients will result in a very or a less stressful due diligence process when they actually have a buyer running them through due diligence. That most of, if not all of those steps and those boxes have been checked prior to that occurrence. And boy, that if I'd had that, and I had the M&A attorney that I used, he's fantastic. He guided me through. He's a friend, but I still felt that pressure of what is this they're asking us for, and why are they asking it?
Yeah.
And we're really good at educating our clients. This is what's important. This is what's not important. And,
of course, this podcast is about Mastery Partners, but even over on the NorthStar Mergers and Acquisitions, which is our sister company, they do things differently than other M&A advisory firms. They try to gather all of this information in advance because it's their firm belief that the faster they can go in due diligence and through a process, the more smooth it will go, and the higher the likelihood that it will reach a closing table.
Yeah.
We hear all the time from buyers about how easy we make that process. And it's all about that preparation, the work that Mastery Partners does in advance to make sure that you've got all the financials in order and the processes are documented and all of the things, the business just runs the way it should. And it just makes it's such a great relationship between our two businesses, but who really benefits from that are the clients, that are ready to exit. And so,
the other thing, Tom, that I've seen is, there's tons of people that are advisors that advise business owners in all sorts of ways. As a business owner approaches a potential transaction, a lot of times they run into a business broker or an investment banker. And those kind of folks perform a valuable role and are very knowledgeable, but they are focused on the transaction. They are focused on, we're going to take you from this state to that state, and this is how it's going to happen. And they don't get paid until that transaction happens. I mean, so their vested interest is to try to get this thing across the line as quick as possible. Maybe not as much as, the most valuable transaction, but the quickest transaction. The thing that I'm gratified about with Mastery is we are really there to help the business owner build the value of the business. We're not focused on the business, on the transaction. And if we hear the phrase from the business owner, well, you're just trying to get me to sell my business, absolutely incorrect. We're trying to get them to make their business better, make it more sellable. Essentially, eventually they'll transition out of that business one way or the other. But we just want to make that more valuable when they do that. And the side effect, which is not really a side effect, the business is going to run better. I think their people will be better served. They will be able to sleep better at night. I mean, there's a lot of great side benefits of what we do to help a business owner maximize that value in the business.
Well, you said a mouthful. The reality is that at Mastery Partners, we're agnostic to the outcome. We don't care. If the business owner wants to give the business to his employees or to his family, to sell it to the management team, to sell it to a third party, take it public, whatever that ideal desired outcome is, we take the business owner through a process, a journey to understand what that ideal outcome looks like. And then once we understand that, we help the business owner, we craft a strategy to get to that ideal outcome. And so whether you're selling the business or transitioning the business some other way, we're agnostic to that. All we want to do is help the business owner realize their own dreams. And no one can tell you your dreams except you. We just have a process that helps walk through and lead you on a process of discovery to really think about what that looks like. And so that's an exciting time for us to work with a
It
business
is.
owner.
And the process is important. We it's been refined over the years, even in just the short period of time that I've been involved with Mastery. We've changed the process a bit, but we do that. It's better every time. I think we add and delete things, and we just add more value to the process for the business owner.
Every time I go through it, this is a risk. Every time I go through it, I think, oh, let's tweak this or let's do that a little differently. And so it is, you're right. It's an iterative process. And it consistently gets better and better and better. So one last question, Dave. This podcast is all about maximizing business value, which is sort of our mantra at Mastery Partners. What's the one most important thing that you would recommend business owners do to build value in their business?
Wow. The thing that I think about is and this is almost universal. I was guilty of this when I had my business, is that I was just heads down in my business, working on it day to day. I certainly was thinking somewhat around the corner, but I'd say 80% of my time was just nose down in the business. And I think a business owner really needs to start thinking about, what's it look like in a 3-year time frame, a 5-year time frame, and start making those changes to get to that point. One of the things that really kind of, and shouldn't, because in retrospect I was guilty of this, but as I've engaged with the clients I have with Mastery, the first part of our engagement is really, what do you really want to see, and where do you vision yourself be, your family, your business, yourself, all that, and spend some time with that before we start the process. And that really gives us that idea of how long do we have to execute these changes. And I think the thing that I would stress for a business owner is don't wait. Don't wait till it's 6 months before you're anticipating you're going to sell your business to start trying to make these changes or trying to do some things to make it more attractive to the marketplace. I think you have to start immediately, and it takes time. Some of these things take time to execute. So don't wait is probably the thing, my biggest advice to business owners.
Yeah, the longer the time frame, the better the outcome, right?
Yeah.
And we even have clients that are on the 15-year plan. They're not anxious to get out of their business now, but what they are anxious to do is make their business more valuable. And the sooner you start on that, the better. That is wise words indeed, Dave. Thanks for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It is always a pleasure to see the tangible benefits our team brings to the table. This, of course, is the Maximize Business Value podcast, where we give practical advice to business owners on how to build long-term sustainable value in your business. Be sure to tune in each week with our new hosts, Dave, Terry, and Darren, and subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss a single episode. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Maximize Business Value podcast. I hope today's conversation sparked new ideas on how you can continue driving value in your business. But remember, it's not just about listening. It's about taking massive action. Visit our website, masterypartners.com, for more resources. Grab a copy of any of the books in the Maximize Business Value series on Amazon or via the links below. And don't hesitate to reach out if you want to know how to apply these concepts to your business. So until next time, I'm Tom Bronson, reminding you to relentlessly execute while you maximize business value.